Hi everyone, if you're new here, I'm Aude, a writer and filmmaker. I've written novels, short films, and short stories over the years in French and English. And today I am going to Switzerland. I have always wanted to go there. It's a beautiful country, but it is fairly expensive, which was worrying me. Still, I decided that it would be good to visit since Switzerland is so close to, other countries. So I took a train. I took a couple of trains from France to go to Switzerland. I knew I wouldn't have the time to visit the countryside, but it's really, really beautiful. So I did arrive in Geneva at the train station, and I guess I was shocked by how similar Geneva is compared to France. Even in terms of the accents, I didn't hear a lot of the stereotypical Swiss accents when people spoke French. So this is my room tour. This is the bathroom. It was a good sized bathroom with loads of space, which I really appreciate. And I think that they also had some lotion, which is very important. And the thing that was really important for me was to have a kitchen, because Switzerland is so expensive that I really advise you to get one of these apartment hotels with a kitchen and to cook, and try to only go out to eat like maybe once a day, maybe for dinner or lunch. There was also a washing machine, super helpful, and a small size fridge, as well as all the utensils and all the cutlery and all the pots and pans needed to cook. And also a nice corner kind of like sofa that was really nice. I did write a little and a couple of books to discover Geneva. And a TV. I don't watch TV, so I usually don't care. And loads of storage. That was really good. Still really, really expensive. Then I went for a dinner to Give the Fork, which is a vegan Asian fusion inspired restaurant. It was really cute, well decorated, but the prices, as you know, in Switzerland are insane. I tried to not do the conversion, or just think that it would be euros, like the Swiss francs would be euros, but it's actually more than euros. Like 1 franc is not 1 euro. Anyway, it was good, and I went on a little walk on my way back. So Geneva is a very small city. I stopped at the co-op because another way to save money was to get Too Good To Go. So Too Good To Go is an app. They're not sponsoring me, but honestly they should, with the way I've been using it. So it is an app where you get food that's about to expire, and if you do not have too much of a sensitive stomach, it's a great way to save money. I hate waste, so I always try to get this. So with that, I was able to cook and save money. So I would absolutely recommend Too Good To Go if you want to save money. So after that, I walked around, visited a couple of parks that were really beautiful. The view was stunning, and that park was near Eau Vive. Eau Vive is the highlight of Geneva. It's a fountain that apparently is stunning. So I was really looking forward to visit it. Since it's cold at the moment, obviously the park wasn't as blooming as it would be, but still it was pretty nice. So I made my way to Eau Vive, and when I arrived, I had somewhat of a surprise. The surprise was that there was no eau vive. Somehow, no one has told us that it was not working at the moment. So here's a lovely video of a swan or a duck. I cannot tell the difference, but it's still a cute animal regardless. So after that, I was really stunned and surprised. I decided to go to the botanical garden, my next stop. One of the reasons why I love going to a botanical garden when I am traveling abroad is that it is free. Usually botanical gardens are free or pretty cheap, and it's a great way to get to know more about the environment and about plants and flowers from all over the world, but also from the country, the city you're visiting. So I went to see the botanical garden. I really liked the cacti of it. They also had tropical flowers and tropical plants, which is funny enough always the warmest part of a botanical garden. So to be warmed when it's summer, but very comfortable when it's cold because it's warm. And they had a Japanese garden that was also pretty. So yeah, I did like it. After that, I walked around probably the most famous outside neighborhood in Geneva, which is Carouge. And Carouge had some very nice buildings and a beautiful view of the river over there. I went to Lidl. I'm not ashamed. I actually went for the Swiss products and their bakery option. There are good bakeries in Geneva, but I still wanted to try some of theirs because they have a mix of Swiss bakeries and French bakeries and German bakeries, and I was craving some German bakeries like pretzels. So I went to a great bakery where I got one of the best gluten-free bread I've ever had, and that bakery was Bien Encore. I would absolutely recommend it. And then after that, I went to the city center where you find a lot of the museums. I was starving, so I went to Biofred, which is a vegan restaurant, and I got a toasty, a spread, and some tea, and it was like 17 francs, which is insane. This is insane, but you can't go to Switzerland and complain about the prices because but I would say that I have been to a little bit too many expensive countries. I have been to most of the most expensive countries. Anyway, I went to Maison Tavel, and there was a beautiful view behind of the city. After that, I went to Musée d'Art et d'Histoire to get more cultured. The Musée d'Art et d'Histoire was really big. I crammed everything. It was beautiful. Another thing is that they have council estates. They have projects in Geneva, and I grew up in the projects. So seeing that, I was like, oh wow, I feel at home in a good and a bad way, but I feel at home. So after that, I went to see the horlogerie, which is also pretty cute, And then I walked around and I kind of got lost looking for the statue of Sisi, the Empress, I was expecting something magical and pretty big. But it was actually underwhelming. So it did not meet my expectations, which happens, But I have to say the river over there, the color is beautiful. So that's a statue of Sisi, and they used to make loads of French films about her when I was a kid. And then after that, I guess I was craving more culture, so I went to Librairie Payot to look at the books that they had over there. and I've realized that the books are so expensive that I might be better off buying them anywhere else. And they have the same bins as they do in Japan. It was fairly clean. So then the next day I decided to go on an impromptu trip to Zurich, because I've realized that Geneva is a very pretty city, but you can see most of it in a day, and Zurich is bigger and had more interesting things. And I really wanted to visit the first vegetarian restaurant opened in Europe, I think in the 1800 or something, that is in Zurich. It's a local and international institution, and I really wanted to visit it. So I took the train to go to Zurich, and I arrived. I decided to go to a vegan bakery inside the station. It was a bit hard to find. You have to go to Gleis 33 or Gleis 34, which is basically, platform 33, platform 34, but in German. And the bakery was pretty good, was worth it. They had a Niki de Saint-Phal, if I'm not mistaken, installation inside the train station, which was surprising. So I walked around, and look how pretty the view is. I was really happy to have made the choice to go to Zurich. So that's the view in Zurich. Another thing I have to say about Geneva is that something happened over there. So a bunch of tourists from Asia, so 2 of them asked me to take a picture with me, which was surprising in a bad way, because I had mainland Chinese tourists asked to take a picture of me when I was in China, and for me that made sense, because I was like, I'm in China, I knew what to expect. But I'm in Switzerland. Switzerland has a frontier with a country I grew up in. I could have been born and grown up in Switzerland. I was shocked by how demeaning and terrible it was for them to ask a picture of me. So anyway, on to good news. I went to Heitel, which is the first vegetarian restaurant in Europe. So I went there, and it was really good. I had so much good food, especially their cheese quiche was great. Then I went to Migros, which is an institution. They had a very decently sized vegan section, because very close to Germany, and they had Ivorian from Ivory Coast chocolate. That's my country. Now, why are the Swiss making our chocolate colonization? So anyway, then I went to Vegetat, and I was thinking about getting a kebab, but the kebab was 17 francs, and I was like, I'm never gonna pay that much money for a kebab. So I got some falafels or something. And then I walked around the neighborhood. It's a bit hip. It's on the east side. Reminded me a little bit of Kreuzberg in Berlin. I had a great time walking around as I was trying to find my way to go to one of the free museums in Zurich. I stumbled across that store, and these chairs, I need them in my flat. So eventually I reached the Migros Museum. Yes, like the store. And it's a free museum in Zurich, right? So there are free things to do. And I stumbled across that exhibition by a South Korean artist that I really liked. I guess I also liked some of the more African inspiration there, and that whole concept around migration and family. And I really liked that it was touchable art, that we were encouraged to touch the art. And the Migros Museum had different sections. That one, they were selling books, but the inside of the store is so pretty. Like, I love the design. It looks like a very nice house. So then after that, I walked to another botanical garden, which was near the Volkerkunde Museum. And there I saw one of the most gripping and depressing exhibition ever. So cameras are not allowed, so I didn't film anything. But basically, that exhibition is about Europeans, especially the Brits, stealing artifacts and art objects from Nigeria and Benin, and the fight from the locals over there to get the object back, and also the role that Switzerland has in keeping these artifacts at the Volker Kunde Museum. And at the end, literary conclusion, they're like, okay, so we're thinking about giving back these art objects and traditional artifacts and art, but we're not so sure about it. And there was a certain hypocrisy over there. So anyway, after that, I went to Aldi and get a pizza bagel because I love pizza, I love bagels, and I love both. And then I went to another bookstore, which is Orel Fussli, and that one was big. I really liked it because it's on 3 floors, and also there is a range of German, French, and English books. I was stunned by the price because that book is half price anywhere else in other countries. That was wild, but they had a great selection of books over there. Then I had to get my dinner before going back to the station. And one thing with me is that I hate going back to the same place to eat twice. So I went to another vegetarian restaurant, but unfortunately for me, it was not as good as Hitel. So then it was time for me to say goodbye to Zurich. Surprisingly, I really liked it. It was fairly clean, people were nice, and I had a great time. So there are tips to survive in Switzerland, in the big cities, when you do not have a lot of money. So these are mine. So I hope you liked the video. Have you been to Switzerland before? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Like the video and subscribe to my channel for more writing and filmmaking related videos. If you want to support my small business and my work, look at my website as well as my books available in most online stores. Thanks!